And we're back with another episode of Key Factors Podcast, Real Estate AF, where the AF stands for and finance. And as we were just discussing, this is a podcast where we talk about real estate, we talk about finance, but we are real. We keep everything pretty transparent because I'm only having conversations with experts in the industry. And today I've got an expert that I've known for quite some time, doesn't live in the 210 anymore, but still contributes heavily to our market and what the hell's going on. So I've got JT. What's up, JT?
Dude, wow.
Yeah.
I got butterflies. That means I'm an expert. Yeah. I mean, thank you for the warm welcome.
Yes.
And
And then he brought Tabby.
Yeah.
Yes. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Yeah.
I just flew in from Boulder this morning.
See the
And-
difference? See the
Hello.
See, you can hear yourself.
Oh, wow. This is amazing.
Is it
yeah.
different?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So guys, you just flew in. Before we get going on any kind of discussions, I want the folks out there listening to know who the hell they're getting their advice content from today. I know who you are. There's plenty out there that do know who you are. But for the folks out there, if you could start with the basics, where did it begin? All that good stuff.
Well, you and I have a very similar background. How many years have you been in the game?
Oh gosh, this is going to be 13, I believe. I got in 2012.
Yeah. No, I remember when you got in
2012.
because you were smooching on my agent.
That's right. It was like
And I didn't
guns
like that.
a-blazing everybody.
No, seriously. I mean, so the backstory is and respect your elders. I've
Yeah,
got
for sure.
17 years as a financier, AKA loan officer in San Antonio. And where's Mark Harris at? He broke me in real good on
That's
my first
right.
day. Swear to God, this is how sometimes you just want to throw people in the deep end.
Yeah.
First day, I was a bartender, construction worker.
Okay.
She just got pregnant. She didn't want me coming home at 4 o'clock in the morning. And I sure as heck didn't want to be out there tying steel on these bridge decks.
Sure.
I was too smart for that.
Yeah, no,
I knew I was a visitor. And so the stars aligned. And as I was bartending, the richest guys were the lenders, dude. They had the boats, the Hummers, the Mercedes. I was like $1,000 tabs every night. I told myself, dude, when I grow up, I'm going to work with those guys.
Yeah.
And then so when we fell in love, she was ROTC, had to go to San Antonio.
Okay.
We were in Virginia. We get to San Antonio. I reinvent myself. So this will all intertwine in the story later too. So
Okay.
this was the first time in my life technically where I had to burn the ships.
Okay.
Meaning the switch went off and I went either Papa G.
Yeah.
So if you believe in God, I had God in my heart. And if you
Sure.
don't, I went psychopath mode.
Yeah.
Meaning nothing mattered. And over my dead body was I not going to feed my wife and soon to be
I
child.
love that.
And so Mark found an ad in the paper, got hired. Yeah, this
Wow.
is 17 years
I know,
ago.
and I believe it because I was using Craigslist as my first means of trying to get business.
What?
It was like, what?
No,
Yeah,
no,
19 years ago.
mind you, things have changed.
That's
but
back when I was charging for this. Just-
I thought we were expecting an invoice. Is it free now?
Yeah.
This doesn't look cheap to
I
me.
love
That
it.
was
You know,
incredible.
that was one of my battles. How could you be good and cheap? Because it's like an
It
it's
is.
paradoxical.
We've actually
Well,
talked about that.
Until now with the company I'm with, where we've cracked the code.
I
And
love it.
we're
I love it.
So long story short, 17 years ago, we come to San
Keep it going,
Antonio.
keep it going.
Okay. I called on an ad for a loan officer position, and it happened to be Mark Harris at Supreme Lending with Irma.
Yeah.
And I was bartending when she called me that night, and I was so over it. I walked out halfway through my shift. I was over it because I went from making $600 a night in a martini lounge to working at the Riverwalk and frickin' Broadway across the street from Rebar. Dude, I was
Yeah.
like, this isn't for me. And so I get in, and the very first day, I get in there and I'm excited, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. I'm going to be a lender. These guys are ballers. I show up to an office. Now, Mark doesn't smoke anymore, but everybody's smoking cigarettes inside the office. And you can imagine there's the table with
Oh,
that,
yeah.
like the picnic, the plastic picnic thing that you see at grandma's house. And you can see all the threads inside of it. 'cause-
Absolutely.
And coffee, the machine. And then I had to go get my structure shirts. Excuse me. You remember structure before it was
Oh
express?
my gosh, I had everything from Structure.
Bro, I was looking like $1 million,
That's
the
right.
black stripes. And so the first thing he does on the first day, I said, Mark, what do we do? He said, we got to get loans. And I said, all right, how do you do that? And he said, that's a great question. And I'm looking at him like, okay, for real? Like, we don't know how to do this job and you're in an office smoking cigarettes. And then so he hands me a stack of
And
paper.
wait, you hired me.
Well, it was commission only, and you didn't have to have a license. So you basically, this was before the NMLS
Wow.
and Dodd-Frank and whatever else. TRID. Well, Dodd-Frank was
All of it. Yeah.
April 11th, 2011.
There were very few limitations on what could
Bro.
be done and what could
Bro.
be originated at
Yo,
that point in time.
Dude,
Perfect.
I was
Yeah.
clearing 50K a month on $1 million in production.
That's crazy.
Me and Cody Reed, I'll give him a shout out. Me and Cody, out of all the legacy lenders,
Yeah.
every month we had the highest price. Now, I wasn't doing those 400s back then. I was
Right.
doing the 150s, but
Right.
and they were all Govy, but we were hitting G Slam. So imagine coming from Virginia Beach, construction worker, bartender to clearing 100K
And now you're looking like
within
$1 million
12
bucks.
months.
Oh yeah.
Oh, feeling like,
Yeah.
I mean, woo.
Oh.
We can't even breathe right now. Like, you want to talk about somebody who's living outside the matrix, who was dealt the perfect hand,
Sure.
and Moses is parting the Red Sea.
Yeah.
This is what's happening for us.
I love that.
So,
I love
Mark,
that.
check this out. No, we are going to shatter your perception of realty
Okay.
today.
Okay.
So Mark gives me a damn stack of paper. It's an inch tall and it's FISBOs. And he said, call everyone and tell them this. Say, I'm not a realtor, but I want to put a sign in your yard for 100% financing. Remember Nehemiah?
Wow.
And so bandit signs, they're 10 cents a piece. I literally start calling these FISBOs. Hey, I'm not a realtor. My name's JT. I work with the mortgage company. If we put a sign in your yard, it might help you get a deal. So I'm driving around the hood. I've never even been to San Antonio. And first, full disclosure, as I'm flying in today from Boulder and Maui, I'm like, dude, San Antonio doesn't look that sexy, dude. I mean, I'm here for the money, guys. I know agents hate that, but you guys watched me last year throw up about 450 agents, and mark my words, in the next 12 months, I'm going ham. I'm 100 times more excited than I was.
that.
And no, dude, I'm serious. I'm watching all these dudes around me, watching me, taking everything in front of them. And you know what that does to me? Because I'm a G, dude, that just fires me up.
Even
I'm like,
more.
dude, you want to, okay, grab your popcorn, get your Coke, take a seat. Oh, you might want to cover your wife's eyes, because when she sees what the man's going to do, she's going to look at you and say, what's your problem, bro?
Wow.
Why is JT rolling the dice and you can't even make your calls or email your damn database? I'm like,
Yeah.
bro, because there's levels to the
Touche.
game. And you know what? This whole no agent left behind. I'm like, bro,
Watch this.
I'm an iron worker back in the day, 5-year iron worker. So I was cut from the cloth like an athlete. Bro, if I'm pitching for the Red Sox,
Yeah.
I plan on winning tonight. And that
Right.
means you're striking out. But we're still boys. I'm
Yeah.
going to go home. You're going to go home. We're friends. But tonight, you're not going to hit that ball, bro. That's just how I'm playing. But tonight, you're also, and I'm going to dap you up and love you. But the point I'm making is
Goddamn, Jason,
99% of
I
agents are
missed
playing in the
that.
big leagues, dog.
Yeah.
And so,
What do you miss?
I just miss that concept of competition, the concept of leave it all out on the field. There is no backup plan.
Mhm.
Go hard until you can't. And then when you can't, do your resting and get your ass back to work concept. So
Yeah.
ooh, and here's what I really want to dive in with you, because for my whole life, I've always been destination, goal, purpose,
Yeah.
believe, know, and then action. Well, now I'm living in the spiritual realm where I'm manifesting and I'm in a wormhole. And so instead of like 1 + 1 = 2, now imagine 1,000 times the leverage. So for example, I'm in a world, well, think about this, because I'm going to salt the wound.
okay.
And I think all lenders share the same pain,
Okay.
right? We all have the same job. We're all pretty
Pause
awesome.
here.
You know what I was thinking today for the intro for this should be the Mike Jones. Back then they didn't want me. Now I'm hotter. They all love me. That's what I was thinking about with you on
If,
the way
if
over
only
here.
there wasn't copyright, dude.
Oh, you
I've
monetize.
fuck
I forget.
Yeah,
Dang, you
yeah.
are a
On
G.
YouTube specifically, right?
Oh,
On
yeah.
YouTube, but not Instagram and the other.
Dude, can we
All of them.
can we take a
All of
moment?
them.
People are, I get this all the time because she's my better half. She kind of levels me out. And so people are like, dude, how does this happen?
JC, go to me. Did you guys think that there was a question on that?
No,
Back to you.
but the point I'm making is, can we not just take a second? If you really want to know the secret, like you, marry a woman that you are literally, that drives you crazy, and
Yep.
you'll realize that your life is just a love story. Like
And
everything
is
I'm
able to
doing.
kick your ass, meaning
Well,
get your shit together type
Dude,
concept.
I don't know if I want to have this conversation in front of the boss. You want to talk about holding people accountable? I made a joke. Someone's like, you need a coach for accountability. I'm like, are you not married, bro? Like,
Touche.
I don't want accountability. I come home to accountability.
Every day.
And I'm like, dude, when are we going to stop looking at the bank statements? For real.
Touche.
Have you ever had the conversation with your wife about Amazon? Like, when is
I
Christmas
tread
going to stop
lightly.
coming every day?
I
No, we-
tread lightly.
There
I
may
tread
come a point,
very lightly.
dude, control or be controlled. So But yeah, so
Yes,
she's
dear, you are right. And happy wife, happy life.
yes.
I live by it.
I love that.
Oh,
It's true.
It is true. Yeah.
but we're the lucky ones because we get to give and provide and protect and all.
We're here to support and love and make the home happy and,
And
you know,
crack
be
the
the cheer.
whip.
Yes, there you
But
go.
in a loving, cheerleading way. Yes.
No, no, no,
Loving
no, no,
girl.
no. Look, check this out. She was in tears the other day.
Together, but I love you.
Exactly.
Well, no, she's this. She, like you. All right. She doesn't. She understands the game, but you need helpers. You need minions. You need.
Absolutely.
But what she's
Absolutely.
always said is, she's like, I don't like that you're always like the alpha. And now my business partner's a billionaire. And so,
Ah.
and you know, I don't want to tell everybody where we're at, but we also live a few houses down from Kimball Musk.
Okay.
And so talking about you got to be it to
Yeah.
see it and the energies. And like, I'm realizing, because I'm working with Robert Palmer and I'm studying him. He doesn't know he's my mentor,
Sure,
but I'm
from
no,
a distance. Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
his conviction and the way he's doing it, I've never believed in me more than now. Because kind of like when I got in the core with Dayton and those guys,
Yeah.
you know, if you're making 100K, which is great, and then this was 15 years ago, and I'll just go ahead and throw it out there. There's a guy in this town who does more loans than anybody you've ever known. He's really tall. And Rick Ruby stood him up and he made 900 grand that year. And this was 15 years ago. And so I had never, in my brain, there was brains on the wall.
Yeah.
I was the biggest pimp in the room.
Right.
And I didn't realize
You
that
had
I
no
was
clue.
with whales.
Yeah.
No, it blew my mind. So that's when I got excited about mortgage. And then so being a 25-year-old guy, beautiful girl, you know, getting your first house in
course.
Stone Oak or whatever, home alone, you know, just loving life. Well, fast forward 10 years or not even, you know, it was probably there was a time I was going viral, hitting like 18 loans, which you know is mad
Absolutely.
loot. And then so after that whole thing, team, rates, whatever, long story short, so 17 years in mortgage, and about a year and a half ago, this is the story. So 17 year, and I would consider myself a top producer within my colleagues.
Okay.
Now within the core and those higher places, yeah, no, I tip my hat to those guys. Gavin Ekstrom, you know, you're out there,
I
Sigmund.
also go as far as to say that you can take things from the core that work because there 100% is plenty,
Oh yeah,
but there becomes a certain point where you become a robot, and you nor the folks that I know that use some of the core principles and traits and tasks that they do, we couldn't fully engage or engulf ourselves with that because we're not robots.
Yep.
You got to make X amount of calls. Sometimes I'm going to go a little ADD on you, and what I do works. So
Yeah.
therefore, you can't tell me that this is the only way. Anywho, keep it going.
and if you do it enough, you zoom out, you realize there's no secret sauce and it's all the same shit.
That's right.
So basically,
you are the secret sauce.
Right.
oh, 100%. And then, and what I see is not the general challenge is especially for real estate, it's planting the seeds. Like
Yeah.
initial contact, we're all pretty cool. We can talk. Most agents you can have a decent conversation with.
Yeah.
The challenge is like, are you identifying high caliber, influential people that'll work with you and or refer you? And if not, I'd say you're probably wasting your time because my friend's got money and credit.
Right.
So that's why I do deals.
Right.
And if you're putting your loan officer hat on, imagine if I was a loan officer chasing agents that don't do deals. I wouldn't feed my kids.
No.
Right. So
It's like chasing your tail. What is the point when you catch it?
no, yeah, exactly. And then after 17 years of doing this, I was like, you know, I'm ready to level up because, and again, this is all product of environment. My biggest takeaway from the core, it's just being around people that are really successful and you realize like, dude, I'm just as good as you, if not better.
Yeah.
That's it. I just didn't think I was when I was a construction worker because I was working with drug addicts and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
now I'm not.
The level of intellectual conversations is probably lacking.
Well, can I touch it?
Yeah.
Say something about that a little
Please.
bit. So when he said I was tired of him being the alpha, like he was, you know, he loves to help. So he's around people that are not like lower, but I would say they're learning and they're trying to like
LP1s, LP2
Sure.
Yeah.
processors.
and it's cool because they're motivated to learn. But when you're doing that, sometimes you get distracted on what your goal is.
You get pulled into
into it and you
Yeah,
get sucked
the
into that.
mix.
Exactly. And it takes a lot, and it's of course it's rewarding, but I've always imagined him with like eagles, flying with the eagles, like the big dogs, the big producers, the best of the best. And he did that, but like
Can
now
you repeat that? That was the coolest shit I could ever hear a wife say. And I'm going to replay that. That was just
what did I say? You have it recorded.
instant amnesia.
But it's just really like, you know, you're a product of your environment. So
Yeah.
who you surround yourself with. you know, look at, they always say the top 5 people that are around you, or is it 10?
It's top 5,
Yeah,
top
5.
10. It doesn't matter. It just the
Birds of a
concept.
feather.
That's
Birds of a
right.
feather and flying with eagles. And so when you're around all these people, you strive to be better, and then you get better and better. And then of course you're helping them. So it's like this ongoing, you
You're
know,
right.
fulfilling
Yeah, you were exactly
process.
right.
Yeah. So that's exciting. So that's where we're at now, but continue.
JT, what do you do for a living right now?
I am 100% an agent attractor.
Okay, very good.
That is my
So
job.
not lending.
Zero lending, with the exception of a few of my favorite past clients. I will refer to my processor,
Okay.
because I know they'll spoil them rotten.
Perfect.
But when I burnt the ships the first time when she
Yep.
got pregnant and we moved to Texas, and I became a lender. And of course, when your back's against the wall,
Yeah.
you're going to be all right.
Of course.
And then about a year, about a year ago, right before it was June 16th is when we did our launch party. But right before that, you know, rates were up.
Yep.
Dude, my team was falling apart. I had 10 people on my team in Oahu. Fast forward 2 years in Maui.
So when you say team, you're talking about real estate.
I'm
team.
talking about mortgage team.
Okay,
No,
yeah.
I was doing loans until a year ago.
Okay, good.
Like, I reinvented myself. I went from loan officer JT
Yeah,
to now my goal is to be the #1 recruiter in the world.
very good.
And I believe 1,000,000%. I think I'm definitely on track.
Okay.
And no, and like Mark would say, JT, it's not that you're good, it's that everybody else sucks. It's true. Like, I have zero competition. I know why my wife, she doesn't like when I say that, but dude, whoever's watching this podcast, dude, my phone's ringing off the hook. I can't stop making calls. I've got, I'm living in Fantasia right now. I've
Right.
got angels around me. Like, this whole situation that we're in. Like, for example, when the rates went up, I knew it. Like, I don't know if I manifested this.
Right.
You knew this was coming. We had a 10-year bull run.
Mhm.
Didn't you get a
Very
big
much
fat
so.
daddy house? I see your shit with the pool. Ain't none of my business, but you look like you got your shit together,
doing
boss.
Yeah.
No, you look like you got,
Yeah.
you look like you're doing loans. And, the older guys know the seasons change. Markets are cyclical. But when you're like me, I'm young, I'm ambitious. I'll go all in.
Sure.
Dude, I'll build a team. I don't give a. So anyway, super, super high highs. And then when the rates went up, dude, my P&L went into the red
Yeah.
for the first time in my, I've never seen money disappear.
Yeah.
And then of course with corporate, I'm like, dude,
And it happened
how
quickly.
come this doesn't make any sense to
That's
me?
right.
And so 10 people turned into 1 plus a processor. And the last person I let go was my niece, and she was my assistant. And she had $100,000 salary plus
I had
bonuses.
to let go of my mom during this period. Absolutely. It was tough.
Thank you for
100%.
being transparent. Like, to me, it almost makes me feel like, I'm like, guys, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're for real,
Yeah.
you're gonna cut a bloody nose sometimes, because
It's
if
true.
you're fighting a pro, he might land every once in a while.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Dude, so your mom got kid, and so did it
Shout
hurt?
out to my mom, Norma Jean. By the way, you're better at making cakes. You're a badass at making cakes, by the way. If anybody needs a custom cake, go to, I think it's like NJ Jones on social media. But yeah, that's a true story. I mean, it was tough times for not only the mortgage side, but real estate side as well. More so on the mortgage side, 1, because I'm in it.
Mm-hmm.
2, because I had just opened up my own DBA, and it's like, okay, everything's falling apart. What do we do? And it's like, guys, we've got to focus on the people that didn't get focused on the last 2 years, 3 years, when everybody could get a loan.
Mm-hmm.
There were a ton of people that could not get a loan. Those are the people that we're going to help right now. And we attacked it hard.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, and it's
Hey,
a battle of
recession.
attrition too. You knew that. If you weren't
course.
losing money, you were winning.
Oh, of course.
Anybody who's new to the game,
Yes.
sometimes, like what we ended up doing too, we buckled down. I mean, if you can get into a position where you're running low on debt,
Yeah.
like we literally, as soon as this opportunity came up,
Which opportunity?
well, the LPT
There
opportunity,
you go.
LPT Holdings, I know, right? But here's what actually happened. So this is the
So
story.
we're going to be talking more about LPT.
No, we're going to do whatever you want.
I would like to, because I actually
It
have a
depends on how
video.
viral you want to go. Because, dude, I'm telling you, we might drop a bomb that if you're watching this, I'm going to build it up.
I've got a video.
No, they're not going to sleep. You're going to be tossing and turning in cold sweats tonight, wondering, like, what did that dude, what is happening at SA right
So
now?
there is a 2-minute flick, and then you can tell us if this is right or not, or what have you. I don't know if you know this person. It popped up.
If it's okay, I would.
Let me know when you're ready and go.
I haven't seen this.
We know though.
Oh, this looks like, that's Real Estate CEOs. That's Chris. Oh, that's Isaac. So Isaac works with Chris Nevada, and he has a mega bomb he's about to drop.
Let's get started. First off,
Here, you don't need to play this. No, I will, you guys, dude, I am the guy. I could, dude.
Okay, come on back.
I'm not saying he's not the guy. He is the guy, but I'm going to blow your minds.
How do I stop?
So
Utah.
here's how it all builds up. 17-year mortgage run, but the last 5 or 6 years, specifically when the pandemic hit, I felt like I was swimming upstream, dude. You know that feeling of like, I don't really want to check my email right now because docs aren't titled and I'm not really interested in having that conversation with an agent I chased for 2 years who's on my 5th deal and now my processor's sick. And I'm like, this is why mortgage drives me crazy. And this is the picture I'm going to paint. And I actually have a new why. And it's called light at the end of the tunnel. Okay. And if we're having an adult conversation, 99% of realtors, especially 95% of lenders, it's a dead end job. And I don't care if you're making $100,000 a month, because I'm going to tell you right now, I know what you know that other people don't know, which is it's not enough.
It's true.
Guaranteed. Like if somebody says it's enough, I'd say, hey, kudos to you, man. Great for you. But in my world, it ain't nowhere near enough.
I'm sure Hawaii prices are
in general, like think about this. I mean, in reality, if you're talking to a financial planner, $100K a month is 20 million in savings. I actually just had a referral come in, but I passed it off. The guy had 11 million in his account, in his equity account. And I asked him, I said, where'd the money come from? It was a wedding gift from his wife's dad. It was 16 originally. Now they're down to 11. You know how much income he had? 350.
Wow.
So this is how rich people live. Like if you're a Trustafarian in Boulder and you got 10M, you're living off of, 350, 500, and that's okay. But think about this. If you're a lender, an agent, making money's not necessarily that easy. Saving it is completely different.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so all of this kind of revolves around that.
Especially when you're in the process, and I'm putting myself in the mindset of when I was growing, your best asset, your best bet is going to be to bet on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So you're taking that extra and putting it back in. Hopefully those that are building their business, they're putting 20% at least back into your business to grow it, taking risks that may not pan out, but some do, and I'm here to tell you that some do.
No, for sure. 100%. It's just very rare. And so this is the future of real estate.
Okay.
The future of real estate, just like all these new, like bankers are very clever on how to make money out of nothing, like a loan.
I wonder if we're going to end up answering a question that I'm going to prompt now. Don't answer it now.
Okay.
Which is, are real estate agents and mortgage lenders eventually going to become obsolete?
Well, that's a great question. And I wasn't going there, but here's my thing. And I'm not going to be negative Nancy.
Okay.
I am very motivated. I cannot predict the future. But if every agent in the country were listening to me right now, I would say it's not us versus the brokers. It is. It's not versus. We're agents united. So let's leverage each other, focus our attention on a common destination, which for me is our goal is to become the most valuable real estate company in the world.
Okay.
That's why we exist. Every day I wake up and I know exactly what to do and I have a purpose.
Let's define the value.
Yeah.
And who is our, I guess, customer that is supposed to see this value or gauge this value. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well,
it's either going to be monetary. It's going to be something of what you get out of it. That
you mean,
makes
how does it become valuable?
Well, I mean, first we got to define the value.
Well, it's
Is it just monetary?
Well, here's what I would say.
Okay.
It has to be both, because in order to become the most valuable brokerage in the world, we have to be the most valuable brokerage to the agent, or we're never going to get to that.
Yeah.
Like these are hand in hand. So
Absolutely.
A lot of people say, oh, well, you sound arrogant. And I would say, no, I left Maui in 2 days because Robert Palmer said, I created LPT Realty to become the most valuable brokerage in the world. Right. And I created LPT Realty around agent choice, so every agent could achieve their own definition of success. Yeah. Now rewind the tape. I'm friends with Rob Flick, Gene, and Brent. I know 3 guys making over $1 million a month at the biggest cloud brokerage. Mm-hmm. He bought my dream boat. Gene has the 80-foot, no shit, dude, this was my freaking screensaver. 80-foot sunreef, catamaran. Dude, these things go for 7, 8. Wow. He's got 5 people living on there. He's got 300 million in stock. He's making $1 million a month. So to most people, this is just noise. Yeah. But for me, you couldn't have dealt me a better hand, because you know who's the best recruiter in the world? A loan officer. Oh, we've been doing it for 17 years. Yeah. I don't recruit, I capture. Yeah. Meaning, like, I understand initial contact, building rapport, closing, and following up. That's right. And I don't kiss on the first date. And I only go after dimes, bro. The first guy I called in Dallas, check this out. I told you I was addicted to the game. Yes. The first dude I called in Dallas was the #1 luxury agent. and he did 130 M on 40 transactions, just MLS. So
Okay.
probably 3 times that, these luxury guys.
Now, giving perspective to the folks listening, you are calling them as a previous lender,
No.
but as no.
This is all agent attraction. So
Yeah, that's what. So you are still loan officer at this
no,
time.
this is now.
Yeah, that's
This
what
is
I'm trying
today.
to let him know is he is not a loan officer at this point. He is now in the recruiting seat with that hat on going, I'm going to get very good.
Yeah. The only
So that's
difference.
the first time anybody knows that he's a real estate agent on this podcast.
Yeah. So, but here's the thing. I joke around. Here's the thing. I joke around.
I love it.
I've helped approximately 1,700 families achieve home ownership.
Sure.
If we're, again, having an adult conversation,
Yeah.
I believe the lender's the quarterback. I'm Tom
have
Brady. You're Randy Moss. I'm going to hit you in the end zone with a bag.
Yeah.
And if you've ever, and good agents know this too, a good loan officer is worth his or her weight in gold.
Absolutely.
And so in my world, there's levels to the game. And I have yet to sit in the room with an agent that I couldn't have a high level conversation with and honestly run circles around. No offense. Like,
So prompt to the listeners out there at the moment. If you're listening and you got to this point, I want to know in the comments, who is more important, more valuable to a transaction, the realtor or the lender? Go.
I never answered your question though. So here's my
Good
prediction.
question.
I would say this. I think we would be ignorant and naive to think you're going to get 2 or 3 points in 10 or 15 years. So this just tells me, if history is any indication of the future, which I love,
Right.
because we can draw and inspire confidence from that. The markets will change. Everything grows. You could pull out, it's funny, when's the best time to buy? Dude, if you pulled out Boulder, it looks like this over the last 150 years. You tell me
I
at
always
what
tell people
point-
1972. Why? Because that's when they first started tracking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like why does it matter? And if you're like me, like us, we're thinking long term. Like I
Sure.
love Boulder. I'm investing in Boulder. I'm not trying to make 50 grand in a year.
Right.
No, I'm thinking legacy. Like this is going to be my son's property, maybe, or I could sell it. Who cares? But also, I mean, it's to me, it
It's
is.
the mindset. It is definitely the mindset in thinking this big versus this big.
Right.
Definitely.
And here's the thing: you and I are lenders. So 2 things about living in really nice, expensive
But are
homes.
you? I thought you were a realtor.
Well,
See?
I'm a realtor trapped in a lender's body.
go.
I like that.
There you go. So I'm actually, I'm a nonconformist. Let me go. Wait, do I go both ways? No, I'm just kidding. So here's the deal.
We don't do pronouns.
Here's
on
the
this
deal.
one, sorry.
Let me go back to, here's the way I look at it.
Okay.
I'm going to work smarter and not harder. And right now, the biggest money in real estate, and this is not up for, I would love, you want to sit me down with Glenn and Tamir right now? They would, this will never hit the streets.
Sure.
Because, and again, this is not picking on anybody. It's not a one size fits all. And I would even argue it's a popularity contest half the time and more human element. The bottles, all that stuff's great. But there is such thing as timing. There is such thing as opportunity.
Opportunity cost. Absolutely.
Dude,
Yeah.
bro, so check this out. Right now, I could do loans for approximately $5,000 to $15,000 a loan, depending on the loan amounts, because I do deals in other states that
Sure.
are more expensive, Colorado specifically.
Okay.
Obviously, Hawaii. So where was I going with that?
Well, can you touch base a little bit on what made you leave Maui and take your whole family
No.
and stop being alone?
Yeah.
You guys are
'cause
gonna
at
have
a
to reel this
certain
in.
point,
Yeah.
at a certain point,
Because
we were rolling. Jay, you were with New American Funding at the time, I believe, and then all of a sudden, poof.
yeah,
No,
Where the fuck did he go?
yeah.
And
Well,
I
here's
think
another thing about goals.
And I'm sure there's a lot of folks out there that know you or know of you previously in your previous life that went, well, how the hell how did he get to Hawaii? Where did that, how, why?
Well, so
Tell
that
us.
was the pandemic. So we were in
Okay.
Boulder, and I was a normal LO like you, just working, making my calls, doing deals.
First off, I'm not normal.
No, I
You
know.
ain't normal
Well,
either.
you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I meant like I embodied the Dow.
Very
Like, I
good,
woke up
yeah.
in the morning, I was loan officer JT.
That's right.
And then the pandemic hit. And then I was like, dude, like, we can live anywhere. We had vacations in Hawaii and did family reunions. And I remember when we were in Lanikai Beach the first time, a lady looked at me and she was like, oh, did you guys just get that house? And I was like, thank you, but no, do you really think I'm the guy that bought the beach house next door to you?
Yeah, right.
Like, do people live here?
No,
No,
touche,
I
touche, yeah.
didn't know you could live in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Before the pandemic, you didn't live there. You vacationed there.
Absolutely.
So once we didn't have to meet people anymore, I was like, we had the family. Our kids are in high school. We have 2 high school kids, and I was like,
Right.
you know what? We really want to. We love our family, dude.
Sure.
Like my whole mantra is, every day is our best day. Like, I'm not waiting till tomorrow. I want to eat a good dinner. I want to dance with my wife. I want to teach my son. I want to milk that day.
Yeah.
You know, I look at the sun goes up. So like one of my friends, he had I don't think it's his quote, but he would say, if you can make it through a day, you can make it through a lifetime. And I like to flip it around and say, I don't want to make it through the day. I want to milk this sumbitch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
I don't want tomorrow to come. Now, would I like 10 years from now income? Sure. But no way. I wouldn't trade it
You can't
for
skip
anything.
steps. Correct.
Yeah, I think that like the whole Hawaii transition was super fun. It was like almost we didn't believe it to be true. It was like, you know, a dream almost.
Right.
But then we hit like a certain
Well-
point where he was talking about all the rates and it was just getting like I think we were swimming upstream for so long and this opportunity came up. And do you want to share
I had started the software company too.
Yeah.
And it's funny how that came back like yesterday.
Okay.
So there's another little variable too, right? But I knew I was swimming upstream. I knew that there was nature in my heart was telling me, son, I love you. You can do this really good. And you've got a really strong will.
Yeah.
But deep in your heart, like I not that I couldn't do this happy because these are first world problems, bro. I'm living on 3 acres off the grid in Maui with, if you go to my Facebook, if you guys want to talk about some eye candy, bro, I mean, it's hard to go to California.
Right.
It's just not the same.
Not comparable.
It's so dope. It's outrageous. But what that does, going back to product and environment, my neighbors are in 15, 20 M's. You know, we got a 3.5.
Right.
I'm working and they come 1 or 2 months out of the year.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, everybody around me is like, go to Newport Beach, you know, same thing.
Mhm.
What's wrong with me? Now in San Antonio, you pull up 250, 500, $1 million a year. You're a baller.
Yeah.
You could do a Lambo. You could have a nice house. Which is who cares about all that stuff? For me, being a dad, to me, it's just common sense. Like squirrels are smart enough to store acorns. I'm a human being. I look around. There's no homeless deer. There's no homeless fish. I should
Stack
be
up.
balling.
Absolutely.
Or just, and I'm not going to say I was a great saver, but I always knew I was going to be rich. Like I've never doubted, for some reason,
Yeah.
been a good earner. And I've been in that world again where I'm like, dude, you're, yeah. And this is
Makes
what
sense.
happened last week in Las Vegas. I'm in Vegas with billionaire partner and the highest caliber people in real estate in the world for FubCon, Zillow. And I'm in the room and now my goals have 100x because I'm in the back room and I'm in the conversations and I'm thinking, dude, bro.
We talk about it a lot on this show about the goal being to get in the different rooms, into the bigger rooms, into the rooms of others that you never thought you'd be in. And once those doors open, you're now in the room. What do? Well, you start soaking it up. Why? Because they're way more willing to share than you thought they would be. And just like you in your situation, you get into the room with a X of a goal and see that all these people around you, their goals way up here. You go, well, shit, it's definitely possible if there's this many of you around that have that same like-minded concept and drive and achievements and all of this.
Dude, think about this. The goal, it's an idea. Robert's idea is just bigger than mine. My dream fits inside of his dream. My dream, I've got a fat number that I've had forever. And mine fit perfectly, and I could coattail. I didn't have to be the man this time.
Sure.
He's writing the checks, and he's doing all the thinking.
Yeah.
But if you want to get into that room, let me give you a little secret. The cream rises to the top. I didn't tell anybody anything. Nobody knew me. Everybody knows me. And I got invited, and they paid for me to go. You know why? Because in the last 12 months, we broke every record. And what it is I just made my calls, and I did my follow-up. We threw leveraged events, all the 101 stuff. We only have 20 minutes left. We should probably digress over into the big money stuff.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Hey, is there any toilet paper around just in case we have an accident?
I do think I still want to get to that because it was just such a
We're gonna have to do a round 2.
I'm good with that.
No, 100%.
How many days you here?
Yeah, but we just canceled Thursday. We were gonna drive to Austin.
So we're here Thursday.
But let's talk. I'm here all the time. We're coming back.
But
all the time.
But I do think that you sitting in front of the computer and then like you saw that opportunity was just like perfect timing and getting us here.
Think
and
about how
LPT.
crazy this is.
Yeah.
This was a career for me. I have, like you, a database that basically when it's tuned spits out money.
Yeah.
Like I haven't had to do anything and I've been living a good life because I made calls for 10 years.
That's right.
And if you're in San Antonio, I guarantee if you're an agent and you've been an agent for over 6 years and you're a top 500 agent, you know me because that's the only people I called forever. And that's how I met everybody just because. And so I was sitting on the lanai and rates were going up. And that meant I didn't have a lot of deals. So imagine if I had a ton of deals, I would have never found this opportunity. And this
Makes
is
sense.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd still be stuck in your
And-
business.
Oh, absolutely. And so I see this video about LPT Realty, and I'm literally on an island in the middle of the ocean in Maui at midnight, and some dorky kid in Florida. And I'm like, just watching this video, and he's talking about them going viral. And then I hear him talking about Robert Palmer, and I'm like, dude, this kid is a terrible look. What is this?
You were talking about.
So I'm not, I don't even know.
Was
if
it
the
an
guy,
ad?
no, it was a guy who was doing like a YouTube video about
Okay.
LPT. You know how cheesy some
Sure,
of these
sure.
guys can be. And I'm watching and I'm listening and I'm like, wait a minute. Okay. And then like one thing led to another, led to another, led to another. So I now fast forward 48 hours, I haven't slept. And I can tell
I've
you,
had those nights.
dude, I could tell you every model. I knew Compass, Sotheby's, every cloud brokerage. I could tell you every fee because I was like, wait a second.
There's opportunity here.
Well, think about this. If history is any indication of the future, we already have the big cloud brokerage that went bananas. And if you do the math, more people made more money in San Antonio and Texas off of that company than every other real estate company combined. There's still if you actually look about the amount of stock and revenue share that these guys are making, there's nothing has ever put more money in agents' pockets like this. So what Robert Palmer did was he did what was real estate reimagined.
Okay.
So think about this. I don't know, Gary Keller's the man. He wrote the book. Great. Glenn came out with the cloud and he did, you can be an owner and instead of profit, we do rev share.
Right.
Robert Palmer looked at it and he said, dude, that's a great idea. I'm not going to reinvent the wheel, but I'm going to reimagine it. Kind of like how lenders do. At first you get origination.
Yep.
Then you get SRP. Then you get servicing. And then we're going to put it into a box. Like every time these guys could just keep making money off of this. So here's what he did. He created a completely new revenue stream. And for the first time, and this is the bomb I want to drop before we leave, for the first time in the world, we're dropping, and I'll just say it right now, we're launching the world's first luxury cloud brokerage right now named Aperture.
Aperture. Okay.
All right. That is the only luxury brand that pays revenue share. And not only does it pay revenue share, it is the highest revenue share in the world at a minimum 3 to 10 times more.
And is it because of the price points or because of the concept?
It's everything. Well, so here's the thing about luxury brands that I've realized is agents that work for luxury brands, it's not that they're just hooty and snooty and awesome.
Yeah.
It's they want to protect their brand from a new kid down the hall who's going to make them look bad. So they're willing to pay a little more for that. Hey, I'm not going to let some new rookie at Keller Williams be on the other side of a deal when my client thinks I work at Keller or EXP or pick a brand. Mm-hmm. Even LPT for that matter. LPT is a great option for 80% of the agents, 90. But if you're Compass, if you're Sotheby's, if you're at a boutique shop, this model is going to flip the real estate world upside down. Follow me. We talked about the popularity contest. Mm-hmm. In general, who are the most influential and highest caliber agents in every city that everybody knows? Who are the 2 most popular agents in San Antonio right now? Jason and Ben Kahn.
Yeah, true.
Who
Absolutely.
else?
Robert Elder's up there. He's
from the outside looking in right now, sure. But I'm thinking 15, like just
and
me.
The reason being is as time progresses and you've got a different crowd demographic, wealthy will always buy, right? But there's a new wealthy that's coming of age, and that's the tech wealthy, the younger wealthy.
Yep.
If you're best, you're Ben Kahn. And matter of fact, Ben Kahn sold us our house. He was on the listing side.
And he never referred you, and he promised you too, didn't he?
No, I didn't give two shit. No, my wife, that was my wife's first transaction.
Hey, Ben Kahn,
first
you still
deal,
owe me.
$1 million deal. She was rolling. But the idea is you've got the Robert Elders, Ropaks of the world that are starting to incorporate video, that are starting to get on YouTube. I'm not seeing Ben Kahn do the same thing. Will I ever say that Ben Kahn or a best will go hungry? Hell no, because they've already built their brand. Mm-hmm. It's there. They could change companies and nobody would even know.
Exactly.
Well, it's not about, I didn't mean it that way. I meant in general. Mm-hmm. If you were to pick the top 20 cities across the United States and pull 50 lenders and said, who are the most popular agents? Yeah. Agents that sell the sexiest houses that make the most money in general. He drives a lamp in Ignacio. I'm like, guys, so here's what I'm saying is we are launching, we already have this model. And as of recording, we have 5 of the top 100 agents in the United States already ready to go, signed up.
Wow.
We have celebrity endorsements.
Okay.
We have conversations right now with Daniel Craig
Wow.
007.
Yeah.
This is our plan is, and this is all.
Hey, it's tough in Hollywood these days with
Did
everything
you see the
going
Already
on.
commercial, dude? I
No,
was like,
no,
wow.
no.
So, but check this out. This
I'm
is.
just
Let
saying,
me
with
blow
all
your
the
mind
Diddy
with the big
stuff,
picture.
everybody's getting outed, so they got to figure out that, hey, they might pick up real estate. You never know.
You know,
Hey, I'd hire him, not him, but the other guy. Yeah, oh, Daniel Craig for sure. So anyway, think about this. This is the drop.
Okay.
All right. So for the first time ever, I want to bring this all together, even though there's so much nuance. This is why I can't breathe and why right now at our home, literally, and it stems from dad. You know that when dad's
sure.
winning, dude, she's in tears. It's like Friday night every night. We've got teenagers, and we're in such a good space, which also plays into.
Yeah.
But that's attracting our energies.
Absolutely.
We're manifesting like literally, and we're getting shortcuts. But what was it? What was I saying? The
Aperture.
yeah, no. What he said right before that.
While you think of that, I'm going to tell
Hold on
this
one second.
customer that I'm running behind.
What did I just say?
So we can go a little longer.
The mic drop.
Oh.
Yeah, this is huge.
Go for it.
So kind of going back earlier, I'm in a place in my career where I'm all about leverage, opportunity, timing, working smarter, not harder. Like you, I'm a master hunter. I'm a sniper. I've been bringing home deer, fish, and every once in a while an elk. But now that I'm growing up, I'm like, man, I'm going to use my noodle. I'm going to plant some mangoes and some bananas, and I'm going to sit on my rocking chair, and I'm going to watch the food grow, and I'm going to,
Yeah.
And so this is where like older guys get wiser and more leverage. And so with this opportunity, I was like, okay, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to move the needle. And if it takes me 3 to 5 years to get what I've realized now,
Sure.
why it's, dude, residual is where everything right now for me, we're making enough in residual to pay all the bills. So for the first time in my life, I'm literally waking up and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm okay.
Yeah.
Like, and then dude, as a dad, I could go bounce to freaking Croatia. Deuces, I'm out, and you'll never see me again. And I get paid more and more and more for the rest of my life. And I'm an owner of the company. Bro, everything's lining up, but let's get back on track. So here's the mic drop that people, this is going to flip the real estate world upside down. So a few weeks ago, Robert Palmer, my partner, he's the man. I say he's my partner. He's the man. And he said hybrid share is the future of real estate. And I didn't know what he meant. Hybrid share. This is what we have as hybrid share. And this is all going to make sense. So this isn't up for debate. The most money that's ever been made in real estate is the stock and the revenue share. And then of course, production, but production is just how you live. This is how you get ahead. This is how you ascend the matrix and live a life of freedom and ultimately peace of mind. This is all we need. Like love is the driving force and it's all a love story.
Now, will this all be under the umbrella of the LPT?
Oh, it's LPT Holdings.
Okay, very good.
So all of the stock awards, and check this out. This is pre-IPO. So imagine you were in Silicon Valley, you're Sequoia, pre-IPO, fastest scaling company of all time, most viral real estate company in the world. What we did in 2 years in only a handful of states, 10,000 agents, it took the 2 previous fastest growing brokerages 9.5 and 8.5 years respectively. This is by far the greatest real estate success story that's ever happened unfolding in real time. This isn't up for debate. The numbers tell the true story.
Right.
There's never been a brokerage that did this. There's never been a guy like Robert Palmer, $1 billion valuation with LPT.
Wow.
Right now, Robert Palmer's already a self-made billionaire. He has no debt. So imagine if I was asking you for $250,000 to invest in this company. You're blowing up right now.
Right.
Billionaire founder. He owns RP Funding, the largest mortgage company in Florida, completely separate. He owns the Armada professional soccer team. He owns Listing Power Tools. That thing was pumping out almost $10 million a month in residual.
Yeah.
He had 18,000 agents. This guy flies around in a jet with a private chef. That's the only difference. Everything's the same, but when Robert shows up, you're drinking 10,000-year-old sake.
Yeah.
The bill's going to be 50 G's and everybody's normal, but you eat good. And this guy he literally, people say he's the smartest person they've ever met. And these are people like.
So let me ask you this. Is there a video of you talking about what LPT is and how?
This is it. I
Okay,
haven't
so
done it
then
yet.
take some time real quick to tell us the basics of LPT.
Okay. So tons of nuance, but simply put, LPT is the world's first hybrid brokerage. So what Robert Palmer did was this, extremely smart or genius or common sense. He said, okay, 70 to 80% of all agents are treading water, right?
Yeah.
That's a fact. Some
When
agents,
did it launch? When did it launch?
dude. Okay, you want to blow your mind?
Years ago.
Well, it launched on 8/8,
Did it really?
and you know this is the Lionsgate year,
8/8.
right? So what are the odds the time that your boy blows it out of the thing, dude, bro? This is beyond, bro. Like goosebumps. I can't breathe right now. We're going so viral. I can't see straight.
Explain.
No, I don't want to.
Explain.
If you know, you
Tell
know.
us.
We'll leave it at
Tell
that.
us.
So, okay, so with LPT Realty, it's this simple.
Okay.
Robert Palmer created LPT Realty around agent choice. And so what he did was this. He spent 4 years with his team, and these are gangsters, attorneys, vice presidents. Like he's got a core team that are smart. And they studied agent migration. So if you and I were going to create a real estate brokerage, and I guarantee if we went out for beers tonight or whatever we did, and we said, we've set sail to reach this destination, how are we going to do it? I guarantee we'd come to one conclusion, and I'm going to give you it's too simple, but how would we do it? What is the plague to the real estate industry? What is every brokerage's Achilles heel?
Agent.
Lack of,
Retention.
oh, for sure.
No,
And lack of value, in my opinion.
No,
They're not
okay.
giving their
Ooh.
realtors enough value. If you're not a producer
Still
in the
goes hand in
leadership role, what is your job? To make sure that they get paid accurately? That's not enough. I mean, anybody can do that.
Yeah.
Dude,
So what is it that is separating yourself as a brokerage from all the others that are popping up, the cloud base that you don't need to come into the office? What are those things? And I think a lot of brokers have been doing a lot of soul seeking in the past couple of years, to be honest.
dude, KW is restructuring. They're buying back everything.
have
You know,
to.
no, here's the thing. I wish you guys luck, but I went ahead and dug a hole just as a reminder that the young lion just showed up.
Right.
And there's a changing of the guards, and there's a new sheriff in town. And you know who he is. He's funny. He's good looking. He doesn't like to fight, but he'll still kick your ass. No, I'm just kidding. So check this out. Simply put, LPT is like this. He did it around hybrid. He did a hybrid brokerage, and he said, okay, if you're one of those 70 or 80% of agents who are treading water, what's best for them? Money and marketing.
Yeah.
Dude, this is why I have a hard time talking to normal agents about business, because you can't argue with me about this. Like, and I'll just choose any company. For example, like Real or Keller Williams, EXP, pick one. But at Real, because they're a little cheaper than these other two, if you do 8 deals with me at LPT, and not that this even matters, it's just numbers, at $350, you'd be a capping agent over there. We don't have a monthly fee, whatever. So with me, you would save $8,800. And so since I'm a professional, I look at that and say $8,800 for me, coffees and lunches, I'm selling more houses. It's that simple. I'm watering the garden. First is first. Agents get more for less, a lot more for less, and it's done for you. One less thing to worry about. So in our world,
Sure.
if I don't have to put it on my checklist, it's invaluable. The last thing I want to do is put more.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, if this is
right.
where you talk about brokerages adding value. So this is why I left Maui in 2 days, because I used to joke around as a lender and say all brokerages suck, because I sit across from realtors all day, and I guarantee if you're new, you're not going to be happy. I don't care if you're at Phyllis, Keller, Compass, you name it, because
You don't even know what you want.
they don't even know what they get, and
That's right.
their expectations. They're like, no, guys, if you think you're getting paid out the gate, you've been misled. You better have some savings. I would say go move in with your mom if you're serious.
Yeah.
Dude, why not? If you're serious about being the guy, use that money and apply those resources to growing the practice. So with LPT, 80% of agents are on what we call a business builder. Build your business, which is $500 a file, $5,000 cap, no fees. And we have all the done for you marketing. But here's the difference between our marketing and every other brokerage's marketing. I understand real estate. The best thing I can do for our agents is help them win more deals and get
Correct.
more leads. So how do we do that? So we give them everything, but we start off with this box with about 200 pieces of individual marketing collateral. You've got business cards, thank you cards, flyers, brochures, just sold, just listed, open house. I'm talking everything.
Basically, the needle moving activities that it takes for you to become a successful, if you use these basic things, and as basic as they are, they work
They
all
work.
ways.
Yeah.
But people don't understand print marketing. You go to the Lamborghini dealership, you're leaving with a brochure. You buy a Fat Daddy Apple. There's something emotional about beautiful print. It's bespoke. The most expensive products are still delivered in print. And then think about this. I've seen a million Facebook ads. I couldn't tell you any. If you can get my face on my magazine on your coffee table, I guarantee, and you know this, I'm following up.
Absolutely.
A billboard.
But check this out. No, you're the man. You understand the game. This is what our marketing does. And now I'm going to go back to Sequoia. I want you to think investor right now, like venture capital. We have a certain amount of agents. This is not up for debate. This is a fact. If we give every agent our listing power tool pack, a certain amount of agents, especially agents, the 80%, are going to have what? And they're going to have increased conversion.
Sure.
So if I can help every agent win 1 listing out of 5, guess what this does? That increases our market share as a whole for LPT Holdings. If I can help an agent win a listing with our done for you marketing, which is designed as a presentation to win the deal.
Correct.
Now you're teed up for current client referral, past client for life.
Right.
Okay. If I can think about this, if we've got 80% of our agents on a flat fee model, and so now they've got some pep in their step and they're now they're winning deals and it's all done for you. To me, this isn't up for debate. So 80% of agents go into there. Then we have another bucket called the broker partner. Because he said, why pay if you don't play, and try it before you buy it? Where other brokerages, KW, EXP, Real, whatever. I'm just picking the big names.
Sure.
Not picking on anybody. As far as I'm concerned, there's no second place. Like we're so far ahead of the curve right now. Like Robert Palmer looked at me and he said, I'm surprised nobody's done this. And I was like, me too. How the heck? And I'll pick on Gary. Gary, you've got 200,000 agents. How do they not have material?
Yeah.
How do you not have a video that 200,000 people can share and put your name in everybody's house? How are you not giving him marketing to help? You know why? Because they don't get paid after they cap. It doesn't make sense for him to go, we only get paid when the agent gets paid. So if I can't help you get a deal, then I don't get paid. That's how Robert Palmer said. We do performance-based marketing. We don't even want a dime. If you're going to, how about this? I would say, Gary, do 70% of Keller Williams agents fail the first year? And the answer is yes. So that tells me that no matter what you're telling them, it's not the how, it's the who. And what I can say is this, with me, at least they wouldn't fail in the first year because they're not paying $200 a month and waste. I'm like, but let me go back to the materials. The materials are designed to increase conversion, 100%, right? This is what this does. So we're actually putting agents in money's pocket.
Right.
We're putting more agents in money pocket through fees. So this is a no-brainer. Robert Palmer, billionaires do this. They want unfair advantages and blue oceans. He doesn't want to fight with Gary and these other guys.
Yeah.
So
He wants to
don't.
play in a different
Dude,
fund.
I walk into the boardroom, Mark. I'm 10 foot tall and bulletproof. You could put Tamir, Gary, Glenn, and I guarantee they don't want this conversation because I'm going to say, Gary, so you're going to teach what? The agent what? We've got YouTube now, bro. We've got $100 million producers who are way better than your productivity coach who doesn't sell real estate anymore. And I hate to be that guy, but if you don't have blood on your hands, I don't respect you the same.
Right.
You might have wrote the book. You might be the guy, but when I come home and I'm breathing and panting and my hands are calloused because I'm actually
In the thick of things.
I'm in the know.
Yeah,
But
you're in the trenches.
dude, this is like, I see these coaches. I was in Vegas. I see all these big wig coaches and I'm like, bro, I am running circles around you. And truth be told, not even trying because I'm using my noodle. Here's the difference. I'm calling guys that are doing 130M versus 4 deals.
Right.
Because when you're ground level, if you can get a city like Dallas, this is how you ascend the matrix. If you get in early when the stars align and you're at the ground level of an MLM or pre-IPO stock, this is where everything changes. So back to LPT. Hybrid, flat fee, marketing.
Yeah.
Bananas. You can't argue. And the good
So
agents.
it is a very basic premise. And like you said, why has nobody done it before? Because maybe it was too basic and they were all thinking above it. Maybe they were too far gone or too deep into their own model at
Think
that
about
point.
this. At a minimum for your people, what if you just help them email their database? If everybody just put all their emails in a bucket and Mark Jones did it for them, would your loan officers not have more deals? Of course they would. He does the same thing. He's like, you know why agents don't do just sold or all these things? Because it's a headache and nobody wants to do it and it's hard to figure out. Come on.
If it's not an
We all know
automation,
we need to
that's
do
right.
it. So when the broker does it for you, it also gets you out of your comfort zone. Now you have door hangers. Now you got business cards with your listing.
100%.
There's so many conversations. So as an OG real estate professional who's 100% referral, who understand your network is your net worth, and if people are buying, true story, 82 or 88% of all deals are still referral or a repeat. And if that's true, because Shane Tokum posted that, if that's true, then guys, I'm fishing in the pond where the fish are biting.
It's true.
And then
And if Shane said it, it's probably true.
No,
I've
he
had him on
posted
here
it.
too. Yeah.
No, he's the
Shane
man.
said it, yeah.
And
I
I
play
know
cards
that.
with him every once in a while.
Dude, I was with
Yeah.
Dayton the other day. He's going to be on the mastermind panel tomorrow with me.
Okay.
He said, and we all do the Dream 100 because we have our relationship list. He
Yeah.
said, I've got 175. I have 174, which is odd because he's so much better. He did, I think he said 378 closed referrals, not including past clients. So out of his 170 on his Dream 100, he had 372 or 8 organic, not a penny in marketing. Now he does cookies and milk, he's got his systems, he's watering the garden, but there's none of that. But let me bring it back. So LPT Realty is the world's first hybrid brokerage. It's the only flat fee brokerage that has stock and rev share. And here's why I went all in with LPT. I looked at it like as a lender. I said, okay, what's best for agents? Gary trying to teach you how to catch fish. Okay, cool. You want to go to a 15-year-old company that had a good idea where it's treading water for 4 years because it's not growing. And if you're serious about money, you need to be with growth. You know, you get in early. Come on, guys. And then so for me, I looked at it as a whole and then delayed gratification long term. I said, okay, I know for a fact, because I meet agents every day. Agents leave for money, agents leave for marketing, agents leave for offices, agents leave for monthly fees. And most important is the human element. And that's what we know. So no matter what you're up against, minus the good agent who doesn't need anything. And that's where the flat fee comes in too. Because there comes a point where you want the money. Like I've been brokering loans, bro. I made a fortune when I left. You know this. I went from making $150 to back to the money.
Right.
And so eventually, you know, agents are going to do the same thing. But check this out. Here's the mind-blowing thing that this is the genius of Robert Palmer. He just literally reinvented real estate right now. It's happening. So we have this hybrid brokerage, flat fee. We're going bananas. We've broken every record known to man. We have this is the craziest. I'm losing my mind. I don't need to sleep, dude. I'm jumping out of bed.
I can tell.
Well, dude, it feels incredible.
It should be.
People don't understand the intangibles. When you are loading the wagon with pre-IPO stock, when you're going bananas, when you're like, for us, we've got so much faith too, bro. Like I'm taking steps. I don't even care if there's a stone.
Well, and there's a term that I use quite often, which is we don't do anything half-ass. We do it with our whole ass. And that's just basically saying go all in.
Yes.
How you do anything's how you do everything.
There you go.
And if dad's going to clean the counters and wash the dishes, you better do the best job because dad's leading by example.
Right. Exactly.
But check this out. So now I'm going to do the math. Silicon Valley. Our goal is to become the most valuable brokerage in the world, which means we have to be the most valuable brokerage to the agent. So we're doing this through unfair advantages. We can be most valuable through comp, through marketing, right? And through opportunity and leverage. And this is where I get really excited because I believe I know what's best for agents. I think agents in general would be more successful if you had more money and you put that money into your practice and you actually had marketing.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but people need to know I'm in business or I'll never do deals. And that's why I text videos and I have the way we do leveraged events. Me and Tabby we have got this dialed in. I went from doing leveraged events for mortgage to doing leveraged events for real estate. Now I don't have to, there's no attendance and there's no fulfillment.
Right.
So now I don't have a 30-day process to get paid. I'm done. Robert Palmer's doing all the heavy lifting. So check this out. 600,000 agents right now in the United States hang their license at a flat fee brokerage. All right. 20% of agents hang their license at a luxury brand, Compass, Sotheby's, and Boutique. There's about 18 to 20,000 agents at Sotheby's. There's about 18 to 20,000 agents at Compass. All right. In order for us to reach our ultimate destination of becoming the most valuable brokerage in the world, which for us, we believe is about 15 billion, and that's going to put us somewhere in the decacenti range. And you too, I'm bringing you with me.
Let's go. Let's go.
Trust me, I would say bet on us 100,000%. Like you said earlier, I'm like, guys, this is, I'm sorry, but this is what it looks like. I know we're disappointing you. I feel the same way.
No, I love
Not you, but everybody. I'm like,
okay, gotcha.
I didn't know it was going to be this way. Yeah. It just is. Again, when Moses parted the Red Sea for me and us, this was a no-brainer, but check this out. So with Aperture, now we have, check this out, we're the only flat fee brokerage in the world that offers rev share and stock. And I went in because of retention. I've got friends over at these other brokerages, dude, recruiting is smoke and mirrors.
Right.
Dude, I'll show you. I promise you.
No,
I'm full-blooded.
I believe it. And
a lot
it's
of people
tough for them to give something new on an old broker model when there isn't anything new.
Well, you can't reinvent the wheel.
There you go.
So check this out. So now we're launching the world's first and only luxury cloud brokerage, Aperture, that offers not only pre-IPO stock, but rev share, and the marketing is bananas. We've got proprietary software to ensure that only the 10 million wealthiest households in America see our commercials, and that's it. And so Robert Palmer, my partner, boss, he spent 150 million of his own money to become a billionaire. So he's the guy who just, when he made $5,000, he put $4,000 back into marketing. Right. He started at 1,000, he got up to 1.7 a month for 7 years.
That's the same concept we were talking about earlier.
Right.
He said like Sunday Night Football, one guy's going to get the Bud Light commercial, the other guy's going to get the Aperture. And we're so confident in our marketing prowess that well, there's all these incentives with stock and everything else, but I know you're living on time. I want to drop the mic. So this is why I'm losing my shit, dude. This is the world's first dual agency revenue share, AKA hybrid share. No. Let that sink in. Here's what Robert Palmer said. He's like, I always wondered if I owned Compass and EXP because that would be the biggest, baddest company in the world. Compass agents and Sotheby's agents will not work there because of it's not the brand, it's the agent down the hall that's going to give them a bad reputation.
Right.
And they're willing to pay more for that black tie Chanel vibe.
Correct.
And you know what? If you're at a boutique, what's 50, 60% of something versus nothing of nothing?
That's right.
I mean, hey, I'd
right.
coattail with you if it meant I could put food on the table. So now what we have, LPT Holdings, we have LPT Realty, which is 80, 90% of agents. Great fit, money, marketing, no brainer. Hey, it's not a one size fits all. Maybe you want to jam out over there. Great. Maybe, come back, whatever. We're cool. Our time may come, but I love it. And that's okay. And I like attracts like. So if you're winning, then I'd say talk to us for sure. Cause we want to be around those guys. And I was telling her the other day, I was like, I'm really good at motivating people, but I'm way more interested in partnering with people that are just gangster.
Yeah,
It's better to take good to great than shitty to good, right?
That's strong right there.
Successful. The body in motion is likely to stay in motion. That's why they loved us. You know, they would love to coach you. They're like, dude, you got money and you're doing good. I want to be your coach. Yeah. So check this out. So imagine this, JT Fore, Tabby. I'm with LPT Realty because that model works for me. We have the luxury collection. We have the luxury preferred network. Tabby and I love luxury stuff. We don't consider ourselves luxury, but we have like luxury stuff. You ever think about luxury buyers? I'm like, dude, they don't even know they're luxury sometimes.
It's true.
Like some people, especially you're born with money. You ever have friends like they don't even know, like they do and they don't. Like you act weird, but then that makes them think like, well, what's going on? Like, you know what I mean? Like, so check this out. We've created a dual agency hybrid share. So now for the first time in the world, highest caliber, most influential agents in the world are going to, hey, Mark, why not? You're already doing a ton of deals. You're already a living legend. You already live a life of legacy. Here's the $1 million question. If you're good at sales, what do you sell? Pain.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the biggest pain point for every luxury agent in the world that they don't even know? It's light at the end of the tunnel. Aperture, meaning this. How do you get out of production? If you're rocking a Lambo, you got a $4,000 car payment and you got a $10,000 or $15,000 house payment, that's great. I love it. Welcome to the club. But let me tell you, after 10 or 15 years, you're going to start doing the math and thinking, well, I need to start taking my money.
That's right.
Or if you're lucky like us, maybe God just gives you a nugget and says, hey, I know you're lazy and I know you like to procrastinate. So I'm going to give you a ton of cash and all you got to do is what you're really good at.
Right.
Talk to people. Just talk to the best people in the country so that when you land Alex in Dallas, he turns into $100,000 a month. Do that in 10 cities. So this is what I consider just.
Now let me ask you to close this off. Does everyone have the opportunity as an LPT agent recruited by the best recruit, the opportunity to do the same thing, similar to the EXP, the real, the models that are coming up there. So then they too become a recruiter, but also a producer more so.
Well, we're real estate first and you have to be. Because
I love that.
Well, the other companies in the future, you could see if you're all MLM, that ain't going to work.
Yeah, no.
Like that was cool when the stock's bumping and people are making money. But once that's gone, we can see what happens.
Yeah,
so
production saves everything.
It's real estate first. It has to be. Like, and for me, this isn't a big deal because I do real estate. I know for a lot of agents, it's not easier said than done, but check this out. So every LPT Realty in the country right now, if they know a luxury agent, they can bring them in and they go in their organization but vice versa.
Wow.
So now imagine a Ben Kahn, a Jason, and dude, let's get Elder. Mark my words. Robert's watching this. I've talked to him a couple times. I've never tried to push him. I'm flying with the Eagles. Robert Palmer's flying in $40 million jets, $40 million homes. His neighbor is the founder of Ring and Palantir. Bro, there's levels to the game.
Yeah,
dude, I would love for Elder to be, dude, if Elder's the first guy with Aperture, mark my words, here's the math with Aperture.
There's the good word for him. I'm sure he will see.
So check this out. For all those guys at these other cloud brokerages who are into revenue share, which it is, I hate to say it, it's also not for most people. Because if you're one of the 80% of agents that aren't doing deals, then you're probably going to be one of the 80% of agents who don't recruit because you're just not the guy.
Yeah.
And if you want to tip on recruiting, I would say be the man. Like, be so awesome, attract them. Look at our videos. Look how we do. Dude, I have people reaching out to me on Facebook. You know why? Because you got to run.
Oh no, I was going to say that too.
We're killing it. You got to go.
No, we do need to wrap this up. I got a Zoom call that I got to jump on, but we definitely need to have a round 2 of this.
Yeah.
We dive deeper into it. Now we basically have the sizzle, and everybody says sell the sizzle. Now I want the steak. When you get back here, I want the whole damn steak, the baked potato, the greens.
I'm
the
bringing
whole
you
nine.
with me, dog.
I love it. And that being the case, it sounds to me like LPT is not going for market share. They want the whole damn pie. And
Here-
they're doing that by creating means of making attraction to their value with the different sectors. Because you're right, there are two totally different worlds when it comes to real estate. You've got your normal real estate, and then you've got this other world that everybody wants to be a part of. Every once in a while, you get lucky, you sell $1 million deal, but that's not the sandbox that you play in. I want to hear more about this luxury stuff. I want to hear more about LPT. I want to hear more about the trials and tribulations, the failures, the successes, and all of that. Hopefully we get you on here soon.
We got a good story for you. Oh yeah, but there's so much to unpack, bro. We've got
I believe it.
13
Can I
years
say
of
something real quick
Yeah, go
before
for
we
it. Yeah,
I
please.
think JT, and just to preface this to everybody, he's in his own little like kind of like bubble. He is doing agent, he says recruiting, but a lot of times we like to say agent attract.
Okay.
So we're not like forcing it. It's just one of those things that if you talk about and you start studying LPT and Aperture, well, soon Aperture, it's almost one of those things that's just common sense, and people like will call us and just ask about it, and it's not like pushing it or forcing it.
I have a saying that is, if you build it, they will come. I call bullshit on that. Right? Why? Because if they don't know about it, how would they ever be attracted to it? So if you build it, they will come. No, you've got to build it and market the hell out of it and give the value to it and show everybody. Because we're in a world where everything is a next shiny object.
Right. Exactly.
Everything is attractive for 6 seconds.
Yes.
And then you're on to the next thing.
But if you really dig deep and you really analyze everything, you really truly see that it's just, for me, it's a no-brainer. But again, it doesn't fit everybody's.
Here's the thing. That's why people love to buy, but we hate to be sold. Every weekend we go to the mall. Dude, I'm buying shit, but don't you dare hump my leg, bro. I don't want you all over me. Like, give me some, the kids got to go get some stuff. But it goes back to 101. And this is where, and so we just launched a little pop-up consulting thing, private, like Illuminati deal, invitation only. No, seriously, because it's super high caliber, right? But what I'm seeing with agents, especially, dude, they don't have the 101 like you do. Like, there's a process. You build rapport before you close. I've met with agents 2-3 times and never brought up the brokerage. You got to preheat the oven before you throw the cookies in, bro. Absolutely. And there's a process. And I know I thought this was just common knowledge. I didn't know, like, after 10 years, people didn't figure this out. Like, you talk to people, you just tell them your business, or do you actually get to know them? And so for us, everything we do always has that purpose. I want to make sure that we're controlling the narrative and that we're guilty by association. And that means that if you see something that I'm attached to, kind of like you, it's going to be mind-blowing.
That's right.
I'm not going to throw it out there. And that's why we're happy. They're happy. Everything we're doing is a narrative. But like what she's learning, because she's newer to real estate, is it's not a one size fits all. The human element trumps everything more often than not. And that's why, to me and her, she could say, well, why would an agent go there if they can save 10 or 20 grand with you and they get marketing? Because if they go to this company, the guy's just going to tell them what to do. And you're going to actually do it for them. And I'm saying that's the $1 million question, but I'm going to go back to this. Give them time. Give them a year, 2 years, 3 years. Once they realize or go through that motion of, hey, you know what? I don't want to give Gary $5 grand out of my next check because Christmas is coming up, JT. And I'd say thank you, and I'm cool, because let me tell you, I'll have a sword with you on the battlefield while this guy's sitting up at the penthouse telling you what to do. Right? Hey, I'm joking, but
no, but you're not incorrect in saying that, and it's almost so common sense, but common sense isn't so common these days, to be honest.
What we see is the 80% of agents that need help. If you need leads, you're going to bounce. If you need mentorship, you're going to bounce. So people see all this movement and they think, oh my God, what's going on over there? It's like, well, look who's joining. Oh, and as we let go, so Aperture's launching the world's first luxury dedicated cloud brokerage that has not only the first rev share, so the first time in the world there's light at the end of the tunnel for luxury agents, and this is pre-IPO stock of LPT Holdings, so it's not even an idea. What else? There was one more thing I wanted to say real quick before we left. Was the
And
hold on
thank
one
you
second.
too for having us.
Oh
here.
gosh, guys,
This is awesome.
Absolutely having you on and talking about this is something that we don't get to have these kind of conversations about, especially when it's related to the folks that are actually listening. I mean, I would say 80% of the listeners are realtors. that are tuning into the show.
Oh, I was going to say
Yeah.
something about lenders, and
Yeah.
I'm glad you told me that.
Hey,
You can talk shit about lending.
no, she loves loan
No, I
officers.
love loan officers. I was gonna say probably the smartest people in the industry are lenders. So like it's refreshing talking to you and JT because it's like, and every time I talk to like high caliber or people that have experience in
Right.
lending, I'm like, they're so smart. It's you know,
Well,
it's like I don't know.
It's just what we do.
Right.
It's just what we do. And
Yeah.
and that was always the goal, is to, like JT said, there are levels to this thing.
Yeah.
There truly are.
Yeah.
But I do need to wrap this
Thank
up.
you.
What do you got?
This was what I was going to
Go
finish
for
with.
it.
So the social proof, we see all these people moving around, and that's great. We're launching California any day. And just like we do at every state, we're launching with the #1 team in California that does 1.3, 1.2 billion. Just like we know, guys,
Big
people
numbers.
have no clue. You know, like they have no clue. We launched Arizona with Austin's the back, 600 million, #1 team in the entire state. We got the #1 brokerage in South Carolina. We got, I mean, dude, the social proof is outrageous. The brightest minds and the most successful agents in the world are partnering with us right now, and for good reason, because they see the future. And the hybrid brokerage.
So one time before we go, JT, what do you do? What was it that you do? Guys, thank you for tuning in. It has been a cool little discussion. Nice catching up with my friend JT and Tabby. If you like what you hear, make sure to like, subscribe, share with a friend. There's always somebody out there that could use this information. We are now at 12.2 subscribers and growing. So obviously this content is being digested and liked by you guys out there. Really appreciate your support. I want to thank JT and Tabby for joining me today.
Thank you.
But until the next one, we will catch you later.